Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will talk about Python data types and variables. So, what are variables? As the name implies, a variable is something which can change, or it is a way of referring to a memory location which is used by computer programs. So, if we have to store some data, then we define variables. Let's take an example. Let's type any variable name, say x. In Python, we will use equal operator for assigning the data, say x is equal to 10. What it means is now the value of 10 is assigned to a variable x like this. Now I can print it, say x, it will print 10. We can use some operation on this variable. For example, I can do plus 1 on this, x is equal to x plus 1. So now x would be, if I print x, it should print 11. So we can update the variable as well. We can do any operation on our variable. For example, say I'll take another variable which is y is equal to 5. Now I want to get the difference of these two variables. So I'll do x minus y and I'll assign it to another variable, that is z. And if I print z, it will say 11 minus 5, that is 6, because we have updated our variable x here. So it was 11, y was 5, so it became 6. We can also assign some string data type. For example, x is equal to, it would be hello. Now if I print x, it will print hello. So we can use any kind of operation on our variables. We can also assign float variables. For example, x is equal to 5.10. If I print x, it will show 5.1. So in Python, we can not only update the variable data, but we can also update the type as well. Let's take an example of this. So in this example, initially we were using x as 10, which was an integer value, and then here we were taking float value and we were using same variable, and here same variable we assigned string type. Let's understand how we can check what was the type of the variable. So Python provides function called type, using which we can check the type of the variable. Let's take x is equal to 10. Now I want to check the type of the variable, type of x. It is showing it is integer type. Now same variable I'll assign float value, say 1.1, and now I'll check the type of it. It is showing float. Same I can check for string as well. Let's say type of x, that is string. So this way we can check if the type of the variable, we are not only changing the value of the particular variable, but we are also changing the type of it. Firstly we were storing the integer value, then we stored float value, then we stored string value. So Python allows us to change the type of the variable as well during the program execution. Another point is Python variables are references to the objects. So objects are something which has state and some actions associated with it. For example, we have a fan which has some state, like it has, speed could be its state, its color could be the state, and then it has some action. It keeps the room cold. So that could be one action. So in Python, whatever the values we are storing, these variables are type of objects. What are the objects? Like we will understand in the upcoming videos, but for now let's understand these are the placeholder for storing the different type of data. So when we stored x is equal to 10, then x is referring to an object which is storing this value. So say now if I am using another variable which is also storing value 10, then now both of these variables are pointing to the same object. But how do we validate if they are actually referring to the same object or not? So in Python, each object has some identity. So we can check the identity of an object using a function called id. So let's check the identity of these objects. I'll say id of x, and then I'll say id of y. Now if you see, the identity of both of the variables is same. That means it proves our point that both of the variables are pointing to the same object. But if I change y is equal to 11, then if we check the identity of this variable, it will change now. So see, initially it was this, now it is changed. Now they are pointing to two different memory locations or two different objects. So there is a naming convention we follow for naming the variables. What are those naming conventions? We can use the uppercase letters for naming our variables. We can use lowercase letters. We can use underscore. We can use digits 0 to 9 because Python version 3 is based on Unicode, so we can use the Unicode characters as well. And Python keywords, which are the reserved words which are not allowed. Even the white spaces are not allowed. Firstly, let's see what are the Python keywords, what are reserved Python keywords. For that, we can go to the help section and we will type keywords here. So these are the keywords. These are the reserved keywords which we cannot use as a variable name. For example, we will use this keyword as a variable name and it will fail. Okay, we can exit the help section using Ctrl C. So let's say except is equal to 10. It will fail here because this reserved keyword is not allowed as a variable name. So now let's change it. Let's say except duplicate. This will be allowed because this is not a reserved keyword. So as we were seeing the naming convention, we can have the uppercase letter. Let's say where we can have the underscores, we can have the small letters, and then we can have some numbers as well. Say where 1 is equal to, again let's say 10. So this is allowed. Python keywords or the white spaces are not allowed. We have checked Python keyword is not allowed. Let's check the white space as well. So say where white space 1 is equal to 10. It is an invalid syntax because white spaces are not allowed in the variable names. We can use underscore though, like this. It will talk about numbers, strings, and booleans data types. So in numbers data types, Python supports integer, floating point numbers, and the complex numbers. Let's see. So we have already checked, like we can assign the value 10, like the integer type. We have already checked the type of it, so it will say integer type. We can assign float type as well. It could be x is equal to 1.5. We will again check the type. It will show float, and same goes for strings as well. And third type of number Python support is the complex numbers. So complex number is a combination of the real number plus the imaginary number. So complex numbers are written like this: x is equal to 1 plus 1 j. Let's say another number 1 plus 1 j. Now we want to do the addition of the complex numbers, so Python supports that as well. Now if I print z, it has done the addition of the complex numbers as well. Let's move to the division part. We can do the division of as well of the numbers. So there are two types of divisions. We call them as true division and the flow division. So let's say I am saying x is equal to 10 by 3. Now let's print x. It will give 3.333. This is the expected value. Say I want to do x is equal to 5 divided by 2. Now print x. It will print 2.5. So we can use the slash operator for doing the division. But there are two possibilities now. Instead of printing 2.5, maybe I want to print either 2 or 4. So say if I want to print 2, that is, there is a way in Python using which we can get the floor value as well. So 2 would be the floor value and 4 would be the ceiling value. So to get the floor value, we can do the division in different way. Say x is equal to 5, 2 times slash 2, and now if I print x, it will give me 2. Basically it will give me the floor value. So if I have to get the floor value, we have to use a double slash here. Now if you see the type of this value is integer. Now maybe I want to get the different type, for example, because these two numbers were integer, so return type is also the 2 of the response of the division value. But if suppose one of them was floating point number, say x is equal to 5//2.0. Now if I print x, so it would be the 2.0. Basically, if any of the number is floating point number, then the response is also going to be floating point number. It could be dividend or the divisor, any could be floating, then response has to be 2.0. Say same number, I'd say 5.0, then also it will be same only. Then next data type is a string. So we have already seen how do we declare strings. So it could be like welcome to cache knowledge, or we can declare using the double quotes as well. Same, I'll just copy paste this one, or there is another way using this using triple single quotes like this. There are three different ways of assigning the string. For example, if I have to use the apostrophe, say let's copy this, welcome to, for example, I want to use apostrophe here, it will fail. So either we can escape this, or we can use double quotes. If not double quotes, we can also use triple single quotes like this. And strings are immutable. What is the meaning of immutable? It means we cannot change the string once it has been created. For example, now it actually is shown as welcome to cache knowledge. If I want to change any character of the string, it won't change. For example, say we can access any character using this operator. If we want to change the particular character, then we can use the square brackets like this, and then we can provide the index of it. So index starts from 0. So say I want to change w, I'll say x of 0 is equal to a. It will fail. String object doesn't support item assignment because strings are immutable, so it doesn't allow us to change or update the particular character. On string we can perform different type of operators, different type of operations or functions. For example, we want to do the concatenation. Say x is equal to hello. There is another variable y is equal to channel. Now if we want to do the concatenation, we can use the plus operator like this, and then it will say hello channel. Suppose we want to do the repetition of the string, so what we can do, y is equal to x, we can use multiply operator. Say I want to repeat it 3 times like this. So if I print y, it will print the hello 3 times because we have done the repetition 3 times. Suppose we want to check the length of the string, so there is a method called length. We can pass the string, it could be y, it will print the length as 15. As we have already seen, if we have to access particular character at particular index, we can already do like this. Say y0, it will say h is the character at 0 index. So if you have to slice the string, for example, I want to get the particular substring from it. For example, I want to get this hell. What we can do, I'll say y starting index 0 1 2 3 4 5. 5 is the starting index, colon, then 6 7 8, then 9, because 9th is excluded, 9th is not considered. So if I say this hell, it will print hell. Basically 5 is included and 9 is excluded, 9 is not included. That is why we have given 9. If we will give 8, then it won't print the last L. So if we have to include that L as well, basically at the 8th index we have to give the index 9. There is another data type, that is Boolean. we can also check, for example, we can assign a Boolean value, x is equal to true. Now we will check the type of it, it's a Boolean. We can assign false as well, and then again we will check type of it, it will be Boolean. So that's it in this video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.